Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills with the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to this free training call on the 7 steps to creating great web graphics without a designer. And my name is Christina Hills, and I have been teaching online for 10 years. I've been teaching specifically the website creation workshop for 10 years, and before that, I was known as the shopping cart queen, and I had a shopping cart training program. But I moved on and started teaching about WordPress and website building, and I've had a great time teaching that. It's very creative. And then what I decided to do, and I've got this comparison. Do you remember the TV show Happy Days? Well, if you remember from Happy Days, they had a spin-off called Laverne and Shirley. So Laverne and Shirley was a spin-off to Happy Days. So from Happy Days to Laverne and Shirley, I did the same thing with the website creation workshop and creating the graphics creation workshop. So I took some of the training and the knowledge from the website creation workshop and created a whole new program. So this is what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, although I was not formally trained as a graphic designer, I can teach you how to find and create graphics yourself. Graphics that you would need on a daily or weekly basis for social media or your website. So when you've got an online business or you've got maybe a nonprofit or an organization, whatever you have, to be online and to get attention, you need a lot of graphics. But I do want to say professional designers do have their place. There are times when maybe you should hire a graphic designer. Now, most of the time, most of the graphics I need that I use are very simple and I don't need to hire a graphic designer. But sometimes you do need to do that. So when you create your own professional looking web graphics yourself, you save time and money. Time and money. Just think of the back and forth. You know, I talk about this a lot in the website creation workshop with the back and forth with web designers. It's the same thing with graphic designers, but it seems like with graphics you need stuff even faster than with your website. So not only do you save time and money, you have a lot of fun. So this is why I love graphics and I love teaching this course. So let me show you some examples of graphics you can make. So here are some graphics. The first one is promo for this free webinar today. And then here's a couple of other graphics. This one I use for social media. This one was a blog post. And once you make your graphics, you can post it to Facebook. You can post it up to Twitter or any other social media, or you can insert it in a blog post. So some examples of what you can do with graphics. Another thing you can do is make flyer posters. Now, I'm talking about simple flyers that you would take to an event with you. I'm not talking about fancy 3-color brochures or corporate print stuff. That you would want to have a designer do. But there's all kinds of other graphics, Facebook fan page graphics, a Twitter header, a LinkedIn graphic. You can make yourself, you don't, as long as you have a photo, you don't need to have a designer make this. You can make graphics for Pinterest that you post to Pinterest or Instagram. There's all kinds of graphics you can make. Another kind of graphic is an infographic. All right, so let me explain what an infographic is. An infographic is a graphic image that tells a story. It helps you to make a point with valuable information. And people often share your infographic and drive traffic to your site. Infographics are great for blogs and they're used a lot on Pinterest. So let me show you a couple of examples, or a few examples of some infographics. Here are some samples that I've made, and they tend to be tall and they tend to sort of tell a story. So you would typically read through them. This one is a very simple one, but these are some examples of infographics. And you can also share infographics on social media. What I teach is online web graphics versus print graphics. I do not teach print graphics. Print graphics is a whole other skill set. You go to a printer and it's a you need a whole different set of skills to do print graphics. What I teach are quick online web graphics that you would use online. Now, with the techniques that I do teach, you can take your graphics and send them to Kinko's and print up flyers, like I showed you that one before. But it's this training and what I teach in the graphics creation workshop are online web graphics. All right, let's talk about logos. All right, so what is a logo? Here are some examples of different logos. A logo is a graphic image. It may or may not have words that represent your company. And here's some examples of some popular logos. And the nice thing about a logo is it catches your eye and you immediately know what it is. So let me talk about logos and show you, what I went through creating my logo. So my first logo, the top one, I created back in, I think it was 2009. I created my first graphic. And it was great for a while, but now logos really do need to be square. So this one was too long and rectangular. So I needed to stack it and update it for mobile. So logos now should all be very fit in a square shape. See, most of these fit in a square shape. So that is ideal for a logo. So this is not fully square, it's mostly square. But I just took this and I stacked it. All right, so in general, when you need a logo, you should hire a designer. But you can make a temporary one yourself in the meantime. So I want to show you some different logos and then you tell me which one you like. Okay, so which of these logos do you like? So for the graphics creation workshop, I decided to make a temporary logo. So which one do you like? Do you like logo number 1, logo number 2, logo number 3, or logo number 4? These are all temporary logos that I made. I don't have a poll because if I have a poll you can't see which of these logos are up. But the point of this, and let's see, we've got a lot of 4s, some 3s, some 2s, but mostly we got 3 and 2 and 4, but I think 4 is the winner. So here's my point. My point is people think when they start a business, they have to have a logo right away. And I'm telling you, you don't. I did not have, let me back up. I did not have this logo until I actually ran the course twice. So I taught this, I started in 2008. I ran the website creation workshop twice before I had this logo. So if you don't have a logo, don't worry about it. You can always use a temporary logo. And with the skills you learn in the graphics creation workshop, you can create a logo like this. All right, let's move on and talk more about graphics on your website. And I'm not going to take a poll. Can you just type in the chat, do you have a website already? Whether you made it or somebody else made it. So if you could just type, do you have a website already? And it's okay if you're working on it. That totally counts. All right, so most of you do. some of you are still working on it. Janet's got 3 of them, and a few of you don't. So that's okay. I want to teach you about different kinds of graphics on your site. So this terminology will help you whether you're building your website yourself, which I hope you are, or you're having someone else build it for you. So first, a logo versus a site title and tagline, and I'll show you what that is. Then there are things called a header graphic or a background image. So I'll talk about these things. All right, so here is my graphic I talked about. This was too long. This is the original, and then I stacked it. So when I first built my blog, I don't know if anybody remembers my blog from way back when it looked like this. I had my logo in this header graphic area. So it was big and wide and long. Then, as the years went by and mobile became more important, I stacked my logo and I got rid of my header graphic. Now, I'm not saying you have to get rid of your header graphic. I'm just saying this is what I did. I got rid of my header graphic, and so then this way, when you view it on mobile, it shows up like this. So it's a mobile-friendly logo. Let me show you one of my students. This is Beth, who took the website creation workshop, and here is her logo at the top. And this on this wood paneling, that's her background image. And when you look at it on mobile, here it displays really nicely on mobile. And I just want to know, am I going too fast? If you could just type in the chat, am I going too fast? All right, good. We got a lot of notes. Okay, good. The pacing is right. All right, well, you let me know. As I say, I like to do interactive calls. Just let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. All right, so let's talk about header graphics. All right, so this is an image for a header graphic. And this is the image on the website. Here I've got these arrows pointing to this is the header image, and then the site title and tagline go on top. So in this instance, Deborah does not have a logo. She just has a site title and tagline. She is an author, and she's got this header image, and it looks great. And here is it on mobile friendly, and it looks good as well. So I'm just giving you some ideas of graphics and how you may use them and how you might use them on your website. Here is a header graphic from one of my other students, and when she put it on her site, she's got the site title and tagline that just drops on top of it. So if she ever needed to change her tagline, it would be very, very easy to do. All right, continuing on, let's talk about banner images. So just giving you ideas of different kinds of graphics. This banner image could go on a website. This is for my website transformation workshop, which is my intermediate course after my beginner's website creation workshop. And here's the banner image in an email that I've sent out. Right, so you can create graphics and send them an email. Here's another one of my students, and here she has a background image. And let me point out, so this is the background image. On her site, she doesn't have a header image. Instead, she has these bold pictures. And she just has her title of her site and her little tagline. And this background tiles like wallpaper. See, there's no seams. This is called tiling. It's a tiled background. So that's the buzzword, a tiled background. Now, what a tiled background is makes more sense when you see a really bad example, right? So here is a background image that is poorly chosen. This is bad tiling. Have you ever seen a website that looks like this, where they got an image where you see the seams and it just looks really messy? I mean, I created this for this presentation, but just type in the chat, have you ever seen bad tiling? Yes, yes, yuck. Yes, yes. People are saying yes. Really distracting. Really ugly. Some people haven't, so that's cool. So this is good tiling. No seams. Really easy on the eyes. This bad tiling. See the seams? This image was not designed to be a background image. So don't build a website like this because it's going to look ugly. All right, so let me dive in now to the 7 steps to create a graphic. So I'm going to sort of walk you through my process. First, these are the 7 steps, and I made a infographic that goes along with these 7 steps. And I'll go through each step as well. So first you're going to pick a shape. Then you're going to pick a tool. What tool are you going to use? Then you're going to pick an image that's going to be the basis, the foundation for the graphic you're making. Then you'll add text. Then you'll save your image. Then you'll compress your image, and I'll teach you what that means, and then you upload your image. So these are the 7 steps to create a graphic. So let's start with step number 1, which is pick a shape. Pick a shape. So what kind of shape is your graphic going to have? Is it going to be a square shape, like if you're doing Instagram wants square shapes? Is it going to be rectangular, for your website or however you're going to use it, or is it going to be a tall shape? So you want to have a rough idea in your mind what kind of shape your graphic is going to be. Next, you're going to pick a tool, an image editing tool. So the hard way to create graphics is to use Photoshop because it's not easy to learn. Have any of you heard of Photoshop? Have you heard of Photoshop? Just type in the chat. Have you heard of Photoshop? Yeah. It is an old program. It's been around forever. It's an industry standard. It is expensive, but it's way too hard. Unless you are a professional graphic designer, I would not bother with Photoshop. It's too hard, right? So my trainings, I train entrepreneurs how to be in control of their website and their marketing, so Photoshop's not the way to go. Now, if you're a professional photographer, okay, you should learn Photoshop. And but for most people, you don't need it. It's overkill. All right, so there's 2 softwares that I really like. One is called Canva, and the other one is called PicMonkey. And they're both free, and they're really, really easy to use. So these are examples of tools, but you can use whatever tool you want. So if you like CorelDRAW, great. If you like Photoshop, go ahead. But I don't teach Photoshop. All right, so then step number 3, you are going to pick an image. All right, so where are you going to get your starter image? You can use stock photography or your camera. So there's lots of different stock photo sites, or you can just take pictures yourself. The great thing about taking a picture yourself is that you don't have to worry about licensing or image rights. You always want to make sure if you're using a photo that you have the right to use it. So here's an example of a photo I got, and this is a image I grabbed from a stock site to make a graphic. All right, so then the next step, step number 4, is to add text to your image. Right, so you go in to whichever graphics program and you are going to add text on top of your image. And here's one example, and then here's another example. I had this picture of this sea, and then I added this famous quote, "Just love one another," which I love. All right, then you want to save your image. Save your image. So let's talk about image file extensions. Image file extensions. JPEG sometimes has this extension, or it has JPG. So this is a JPEG extension. This is a PNG or a GIF, and I'll explain what these are. All right, JPEGs is the most common image format. It's best for photos. Most digital cameras, when you take a picture, the photo will be as a JPEG. So it tends to be a bigger image because it's keeping track of a lot of tiny little pixels. So JPEG is most common for photos. Then there's a thing called a GIF or a GIF. I pronounce it GIF. It's an older format. It's good for simple images because it's lighter in weight, and I'll talk about weight in a bit. And it has animation capabilities. See this little hummingbird? And it's an animated GIF. So if you want animation on your site, you can. And this looks a little, a little cheesy, a little dated, but that was the example I had. Then there is what is called a PNG. So this is an alternative to GIF. It's a newer format, newer than GIF. And it doesn't lose quality after being resaved. So you could go in, make a change, save, go in, make a change, save, and it's not going to degrade in quality. And it can handle transparency. So a ping is really good for images with lots of text, or if you want transparency. So this little piggy image is explaining transparency. So this little piggy is on top of the yellow, and it has a transparent background, so you don't see any white. But the GIF has white in here, so it doesn't look so good on top of the yellow background. So ping is great for text or if you've got transparency. Now just a couple other file formats. I don't want to spend any time on this. PSD is the format if you're using Photoshop, and SVG is for a scalable vector graphic. I don't use this one, I don't teach it, but I just wanted to mention it to be complete. All right, so now we just saved an image. So this is the big picture overview. Now we want to talk about compressing your image to avoid slow load times. And this graphic will explain what I'm talking about. So let's say you either took this picture or you got this from stock photography. There are two things when it comes to a picture. There's the width and the height, and then there's the file size, right? So this original photo was 1920 pixels in width by 1440 pixels in height. And do you know what a pixel is? I want to make sure that everybody knows what a pixel is, because I don't think I have. So there's a couple who don't know. So I don't have a slide, so I'll do my best to describe a pixel. Pixel are the tiny little colored dots, right? Do you remember as a kid going up really close to your television set and looking at all the little dots? I remember doing that. So it's a little colored dot. So those are pixels. So how many little dots across and how many dots down? So 1920 little dots across and 1440 little dots down. Those are pixels. And pixie dust is different from pixels. So Someone is commenting about Tinkerbell. That's pixie dust. These are pixels. All right, so you want to resize your image if you're going to put it on your website, because 1920 for like a blog post article, this would be way too big. So when you resize it, so this was resized to 350 by 263. So it got smaller. See, this is 567 kilobytes, and then it went down to 142 kilobytes. So we resize the dimension, the width and the height. Then you may want to resize again to make it load fast on your website, right? Everybody wants their website to load fast. So this then got shrunk. It stayed the same size, but it got reduced to 18 kilobytes. So I'm teaching you the concept so you understand this concept of you want to reduce it in size and then you want to reduce it in weight in the file size. So 18 is a lot smaller than 142. All right, so now we saved it out, we compressed it. Now you want to upload your new graphic to your website or your social media. So here's your graphic. Here's the graphic that I made, and I uploaded it to Facebook. And so there I've circled it. So you can get an idea and you're like, hey, I want to post this out to Facebook. Here's was an article on donate to your favorite plugin author. So I made this little graphic and included it in with my article for WordPress plugins. All right, so let me recap the 7 steps. So the big picture overview. You want to pick a shape, right? In your brain, you want to get an idea of a shape. You want to pick a tool. You want to pick an image that'll be the foundation. Then you want to add text to your image. You want to save your image. Then you want to compress it, so you're saving it to your computer. Then you want to compress your image if you're going to use it on your website. Then you want to upload it wherever you plan on using it. So, and deciding on the shape, when you're going to pick the shape, it is sort of dependent upon where you're going or what you have in mind. So if it's going to go to Instagram, then you're going to want to pick a square shape. Facebook can take different sizes. Pinterest, tall shapes tend to be better. All right, so let me show you just some quick examples of some graphics that I made, and you can also make graphics like this too. So let me talk about the graphics creation workshop, which is my course that goes into depth in the process of creating graphics. In Module 1, I teach you all about how to find images for your designs. So images, you don't have to make them yourself. You don't have to photograph them yourself. I teach you ways to find great graphics, images to start with. Then Module 2, you take that image and then you edit it. And I'm going to teach you about how to edit and actually create the graphic and put it together. Then in Module 3, I teach you in details about cropping and sizing your designs. And then in this bonus module, it teaches you all about choosing beautiful color combinations. All of this is put together in an online members area. This is a screenshot of my online members area. You can go through the training at your own pace. And then you also get a digital PDF resource book. So I've got a huge resource of places to go and get graphics plus a whole bunch of other how-tos. And everything you're going to get in the graphics creation workshop when you join today, an online members area, 5 training modules, designed so you can go at your own pace. Then we have follow-up Q&A webinar sessions and that digital PDF resources workbook. And everything you're going to be able to do once you gain all this knowledge is you can create graphics for headers, blog posts, Facebook, Instagram, all kinds of social media, infographics, ebook covers, and more. And you'll be able to take, let's say either you have a graphic of your book, either you made it or maybe you got the cover from your publisher. I'm going to teach you how to turn it into a digital graphic like this. So this is not an actual book, this is a virtual book, but you can then put this on your website. Just like I took the cover of the resources workbook and I made this cool digital book cover. I'm going to teach you how to do that too. And my program, my training comes with a 100% money back guarantee. You know, attend the webinars, watch the videos, review all the programs. You've got 45 days to evaluate the entire program and put it into action. If you decide this course is not helping you create your own graphics, simply contact us by email and let us know which part of the course you didn't like and request a refund. We'll give you your full money back as long as you do this within 45 days. So let me show you some examples from my students, and you can do these graphics you can make on a Mac or a PC. It does not matter. And actually, you can also do it on well, you can do most of it on a tablet. So here's just some examples of my students who've been through my training. And I've got a lot of examples to show you. So this gal, she was building a site and she just wanted to have a coming soon graphic. So, and then here are some quotes, either quotes from authors or quotes from yourself. Here's a $500 off. You know, there's many different ways you can use these graphics. And some of them have, you know, links to your website so people know, you know, where to go. So a lot of these have been used on social media. This one I think is either social media or I think she has it's a cover for her ebook, and then this was for her website. Then you can also make graphics for holidays. So Christmas, Father's Day, you know, Valentine's Day, Rosh Hashanah, or just birthday cards. So once you learn how to quickly make these graphics, you're going to be making a whole bunch of graphics. So let's play. And I want to see what kind of graphics you can make. And I love this quote from Ben Franklin. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. And the way you get involved is joining the graphics creation workshop. So just go to graphicscreationworkshop.com/enroll. And when you go there, normally my program is $297, but I am running a special. It is a one-time fee of $197. So my training is $197 to go through the whole graphics creation workshop. And if you enroll today, I have a special for you. So this is just for people listening to this webinar. If you enroll today, you're going to get an extra bonus that, you know, I want you to type it on your order form that you heard about this special webinar bonus. We will email out a graphic, as long as it's family friendly, that you made in this program that has your link in it to your site, and I will email that out to my email list. So you're going to get extra exposure if you want to jump in and join today. So you just go to graphicscreationworkshop.com/enroll. I'm going to go there right now and show you, and then I'm going to take some questions. graphicscreationworkshop.com/enroll. This is the enrollment page. Has everything that I talked about, what's included. Here's some examples. Oh, here's another example of one of my students' digital book. Here's some testimonials. And so come down here. You'll want to read the terms and conditions. And here in the comments box, you just write in, I want that extra bonus of you emailing out my graphic to your email list. So just type in, I would like the webinar bonus if that's too long to type in the whole thing. All right, so this page basically explains everything I've gone through, and I think let me just cover before we go to questions that people have typed in. So here's some frequently asked questions. Do I need to learn Photoshop? No, you don't need to buy Photoshop or learn Photoshop. This is not a Photoshop training. Do I need to know WordPress for this? No, this is not a WordPress training. It is a training for graphics. Do I need to have a website before taking this course? No, for this graphics creation workshop, you do not need a website. And if you've got a website, great. If you don't have a website, no problem. It's for making any kind of graphics. Does it matter if I'm on a Mac or a PC? Nope. And you can use either a Mac or a PC. And do you need to buy any software? No, you do not need to purchase any software for this training. Is there a prerequisite or can anybody sign up? No prerequisite. Anybody can sign up, and I will teach you how to create. And these are just some examples of my students and some testimonials from them as well. Let's just read Mary's. Your method of instruction is exceptional. I think it is what sets you apart. The demonstration of showing as well as telling and including the details of each step leave me able to learn and remember and begin to experiment on my own. And over here in this window, I'm inside the members area. So once you purchase, you'll come into the members area, and here we've got the different modules, and they have little step-by-step videos. So we've got presentations, demos, and Q&As, and then we have the schedule here for when I do live calls, and then there's a PDF resources. So if you have questions now is a great time to ask them.